So, universities like UCT, Stellenbosch, Rhodes, etc., do you seem to still have this kind of Western alienating sort of sense about them, and you talk about black consciousness dismantling Western political, economic, cultural domination. What would the ideal then be?
I mean, let's just talk in terms of the curriculum first, or maybe before that. UCT has got a residence that is called Africa House. I'm pretty sure you can go to any university in the UK, you will not find a res called Europe House. Why do we need an Africa House in Africa? The other example is, the big universities in SA, like UCT, Wits, I know Free State as well, have got institutes that are called African Studies. I don't think you will find in America an institute that is called American Studies. You might find one that is called Latin American Studies, which is South America, but not American Studies. And the reason for that is because all of the scholarship that takes place in those universities in the UK will have the outlook of Europe about them. Whether it's chemistry or language or biology, it will have the outlook, of the culture of Europe. In America, the same. But when you come to South Africa, you find that the curriculum has got the same outlook. It's got the same Western outlook to it, although it is here. The students are demanding to be taught about Africa and African history. The students are demanding that let us not have an African studies, but all of the scholarship here should have the African studies outlook to it. And that's a radical transformation to take place. It's not something you're going to achieve overnight. And that is one of the things that they're calling to fall. It's one of the things that they're trying to dismantle. That's one thing, curriculum. The other issue, obviously, is student representation. I used to tell my friends in KZN...
the problem is not so much anymore the student demographics.
According to Max Price.
But, I'm talking nationally.
Okay.
But it seems that the frustration is more with professors, not enough black professors.
The person,
is that true?
It's not true. The reason why it's like that is because the person who took on the debate first, who led the debate, was Xolela Mangu, who is an associate professor, with qualifications from Harvard and all that, who feels that at this stage he should be a full professor, and he should be, I think so. So that's the person who led it, and he was speaking mostly about academic staff profile. And the issues about student and professional services was an issue that was just an appendage, to the argument. The students rose and joined the debate, that was already raging. So the interaction, if you just go back briefly, you would find that it was between Max Price and Xolela Mangu. That is why the argument is that, no, it's not the students, that we're concerned about. Universities are transforming in terms of students, but the academic staff. No, it's not true. Absolutely not true. Okay. We have to ask ourselves, what is ideal in terms of student profile in an African university like UCT? I think...
Well, surely it needs to be representative of the greater population.
Yeah,
so,
yes.
Are we going to get it down to actual ratios and percentages?
Yes, why not?
No, Rhodes University is 60-65% black. Is that still not good enough?
It isn't. It isn't, because that is not reflective of the society's demographics. Only
and
when
in terms
we
of
have
black professors, are there enough?
Oh,
black
it's horrible. It's worse. There's no female black professor.
How do you address that transformation?
Well, I do have ideas about it, but I just want to say this first, that for both staff and students, I think I will be satisfied when when I look at the university profile and I see that it reflects our society, or at least the demographics of that particular region. When you go to UKZN, you will see a big complement of Indian students, and that is to be expected. The same when you come to the Western Cape, you see a huge colored complement to it, and that is to be expected. But by and large, it should reflect the demographics. But what was your question again? The one that I just parked aside?
Addressing transformation in terms of professors and
yes.
lecturers.
One of the issues that I think can be done, and I want us to juxtapose race and gender, right? If you are saying that there's a problem of a lack of women in, senior positions in leadership and in the academy, you're not just going to sit back and say, we've acknowledged it, we hope that it will be solved. You will take steps, that will alleviate the problem. One of them is to recruit the people into the university and put on plans, to put them on a trajectory towards that status, specifically those people. And UCT hasn't done that. UCT does not have a specific program that focuses on recruiting black staff, black academic staff, and putting them on a trajectory, a specific trajectory, into professorship. There are other stories, for example, that instead of that, you have stumbling blocks where, Max Price says, it takes 20 years to be from PhD to professorship. And my good friend, Phumla Qola, who's a professor at Wits, was saying the other day at Azania House that I'm friends with many black professors who come from here and elsewhere, mostly from elsewhere, and it didn't take 20 years to be a professor. It just simply isn't true, and it really just depends on an individual and what that individual is allowed and is capable of doing. So one of the big complaints by former UCT black staff is that the goalpost keeps shifting. You don't find the same expectations in terms of promotion. You would think that you're expected to publish so many journal articles, so many chapters in books, and graduate so many PhDs, and once you've achieved that, you find that there's something else in addition. Whereas if it's a white scholar, emerging scholar, they simply just pass through.